Today I want to show you something that the wealthiest people in America figured out a long time ago, and that most financial advisors will never bring up in a meeting. Not because it doesn't exist, not because it doesn't work, but because the system profits when you stay confused. What you're about to hear is not a theory. It's not a philosophy. It's a contractual reality that has been available to everyday Americans for decades. My name is Lee Boone, founder of Buckeye Financial LLC, and tonight, pure education. No pitch, just truth. Let me describe a cycle that most Americans know all too well, even if they have never put words to it. The market goes up, you feel good. You check your account, you celebrate. Then the market drops, and everything you gained, and sometimes more, disappears overnight. And then begins the part nobody talks about, the recovery. The years you spend trying to get back to where you already were. Not growing, not building, just recovering. Here's the question nobody ever asks. What if your worst year was zero? Not negative, not a setback, not a recovery period. Zero. What would that single change do to your financial life over 10, 20, 30 years? The question is what this entire presentation is all about. The zero floor is not a theory. It's not a philosophy. It is not hope. It's a contractual guarantee written in black and white and enforceable by law. Here's how it works. When the market index performs well, your account participates in those gains up to a defined cap. You grow. When the market loses value, your account simply credits zero for that period. You do not lose. Your principal is protected. You never have to recover from a loss you never took. Let me say that again, because I want it to land. You never have to recover from a loss you never took. Your worst year is zero. That is not a hope. That is a contract. Now I want to give you a picture that I think will stay with you long after tonight. Imagine a father walking with his child through a fierce storm. The storm is real. The wind is real. The rain is real. None of that is pretend. But the father positions himself between the storm and the child. The child still moves. The child is never knocked down. The child arrives at the destination, dry, safe, and unshaken. That is exactly what happens inside a properly structured index financial product. The insurance company absorbs the market loss. You participate in the gain. They take the hit. You keep moving forward. Psalms 91 verse 4 says, "He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge." That is not just scripture. That is a financial model. Let me show you the math, because once you see it clearly, you cannot unsee it. Two people start with $100,000. Scenario A, the traditional investor. Year one, the market gains 20%. Their account grows to $120,000. Year two, the market drops 30%. Their account falls to $84,000. They are now down 16% from where they started and still climbing back. Now let's look at scenario B, the zero floor. Year one, market gains credit up to cap. account grows. Year 2, market drops, floor triggers, account credit 0. Every dollar from year 1 is protected. Growth resumes from the high watermark. Same starting point, completely different destination. You never recover because you never fail. That is the structural advantage. Now here's where it gets extraordinary. The vehicle that delivers the zero floor, when structured correctly under IRC Section 7702A, also creates the sophisticated planners call a tax vacuum. Your money is protected from the market and the IRS simultaneously. 3 things happen inside the vacuum. First, tax-free growth. Your money compounds year after year without annual taxation. The IRS can't touch it while it grows. Second, tax-free access. When you need your money, you access it through policy loans, not withdrawals, which means no taxable event is triggered. You use your money while it keeps growing. Third, tax-free legacy. When you pass, your heirs receive the death benefit completely income tax-free, 0 erosion, every dollar transferred, 3 advantages, 1 vehicle, 0 floor included. Now I want to address the one objection I hear every time I explain this. Someone always says, but wait, there's a cap on how much I can earn, and they say it like it's a problem. Let me reframe that completely. The cap exists because the insurance company is absorbing your entire downside risk. That is the trade. You give up a portion of the unlimited upside. They absorb 100% of the downside. Typically, caps range from 8 to 13% or higher depending on the product and the contract year. So here is the question I want you to sit with. Would you trade the possibility of a 40% loss for a guaranteed floor of 0 and a cap of 10%? The wealthy already answered that question. That is why they are still wealthy. This is the mechanism that makes everything extraordinary. And I want you to understand it clearly because most people have never heard it explained. At the end of every contract year, your gains are locked in permanently. That locked gain becomes your new floor. The market can crash the very next day, and your locked gains do not move. Let me walk you through it. Year 1, your account earns credit interest based on the index performance up to your cap. You grow. Year 1 in, those gains are locked in permanently. This becomes your new protected floor. Year 2, a new crediting period begins from your higher floor. You grow again from a position of strength, and then you repeat year after year, forward only. This is called annual reset or ratcheting, whatever you want to call it. It is one of the most powerful wealth protection features ever built into a financial product. Your wealth has one direction, forward. Now I want to close with something that goes beyond the numbers. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22 says, "A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children." Not children only, children's children. That is a generational mandate. And I want you to hear me clearly. You cannot fulfill a generational mandate with a vehicle that can be wiped out in a single market correction. Yahuwah designed increase. He designed protection. He designed legacy. The zero floor aligns with your money, with all 3 of those divine patterns simultaneously. When your wealth cannot be wiped out in compounds across generations, what starts as your protection becomes your children's foundation and your grandchildren's inheritance. This vehicle was built for people who take generational thinking seriously. Not just retirement, legacy. Not just safety, purpose. The next step is simple. Scan the QR code. Watch the free 45-minute presentation. No products, no pressure, no sales pitch, just pure education designed to give you clarity before you ever make a single decision. My name is Lee Boone, Buckeye Financial LLC, licensed and independent across 8 states, faith-driven, client first. I built this because I believe my people perish for their lack of knowledge, and that ends with us. Scan the code, watch the presentation, and when you are ready to talk about your specific situation, I will be here. Tonight you got the truth. Now go build with it.